I don't even know, man. I don't know all right. So you can see everything on your end?
Yep, I can see everything.
Sweet. And yeah, we're kind of it should be pretty chill stream. So yo, what's up, guys? Always it's not even ready. Okay, I think it's live now. Hey guys, what's going on? Turn us up, turn us up. We're here to talk about some Polestar stuff. We got the homie Monument, right? Is that right? Go ahead and introduce yourself really
Absolutely.
quick.
Yeah, so guys, this is Zane from the Monument YouTube channel. We mostly just cover electric car content, especially Polestar. Yeah, and it's just really nice to be here to collab.
Right, right. Thank you. It's good to have you on. I just want to make sure his audio's coming through. If you guys, I don't know if there's a few people in there, or maybe you can check on your separate stream, just verify that your
Yeah,
audio's coming through,
yeah,
and
I'll
we can
just
get
check right
started.
now.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah, and if you guys can just help us out, just smash the like button. Help this video get
Yeah,
out
the
to other
audio is
people.
great.
Is it awesome? Awesome. That's good. Then yeah, we're cooking with what? What do they say? I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna wait just a few seconds to see if people show up, but if not, we're gonna go ahead and get started. What do you guys think about today's price action, though? I think we had a pretty good day. We did 1.5% today. We had a high as of 10 and 69. So we're trying to get there to those $11, but I think the best part about today was actually the volume. Our average volume is about 3.7 million, and today we did 5.4. So part of the reason for, I guess, a spike in volume is definitely those delivery numbers, which we're going to talk about in just a bit. Um, Zane, you pretty excited about the deliveries?
Definitely, man. Over 21,000, 6
There.
months. That's pretty good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we'll take a look at those numbers in just a second. I do want to cover some of the charts and some of the levels that we're looking at. Is there any? Hey, what's up, Shane? How's it going? Any big things you see in the chart for you? Or you just buy and hold? Actually, is that the operation there?
So for me personally, like I just personally just buy a Polestar share every time I see a Polestar on the road. Literally.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's a that's a thing that I just started and it's been good so far. But yeah, I just wanna buy as much as I can, especially when the company is only valued at 21 billion. I mean, that's gonna change pretty quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, for me personally, I'm doing like the short squeeze play, and then after that, I'm gonna reevaluate valuations, see where the market is, and then start building that position again. Because I do think the company has great potential, especially with these numbers that we saw today, which we'll take a look at. The only thing I wanted to talk about this is I think last time we talked about this descending resistance here, finally broke out of it. You can see we got into that new range here, but shorts obviously towards the end of the day just started hammering away, and pretty obvious here, just red candles towards the second half of the day. So what I'm thinking here is like at least going into tomorrow, I think we'll basically retouch $10, and then we'll kind of go from there. But overall, I think everything's bullish. One thing I want to highlight here is obviously volume. You want to keep an eye on volume, but on the MACD, which is one of the people showed us how to get started with this, it looks like we're starting to turn bullish, which would give us a huge opportunity going back up to like 12, possibly even $13. Other than that, yeah, what's up, June? Higher highs and higher lows, baby. It's been respecting the 50 EMA. So, yeah, I don't use the 50 EMA, but I see the higher highs and higher lows, and really, it's just like it looks like how these huge wick candles, small bodies. It looks like really not many people are selling their shares. I'm sure a lot of people are probably somewhere down or about break even. I'm a little bit up on my shares. But it's just really showing that I guess there's a following for this too. I guess is the right way to say it. And yeah, the higher highs is I think is important. The higher lows. So really, I kind of added this channel here because it's kind of respecting this trend line now, and we'll just kind of go from there. I guess maybe I could shift over to the 1 hour to see this better. But other than that, we're just really trying to break 1080, which I mean it's gonna be up here, but yeah, I think we just need some time. As far as the options and things, I don't know. I don't know if we'll actually get 12. Anything can happen though. We could wake up to being up, which is actually really nice. I just want to mention, like today, it felt nice not being down already 6%. So things are obviously looking a lot better, and I still think this is kind of like like a hedge for the market because it doesn't really follow it as much, I would say. What do you think, Zane?
That's a
Or,
good point. It definitely doesn't follow the market because if you go onto Yahoo Finance and you type in Polestar and you just look at the chart, compare it with Tesla, compare it with Lucid, Rivian, and you'd realize that Polestar is doing something completely different. Rivian, Tesla, Lucid, they're all doing the same thing that I've noticed on the charts,
mhm,
literally.
right. As far as coming down, right? Or,
As far as coming down and going up, they're doing the
mhm,
exact same thing. If you look at them for the last month, you'll see that the charts, they're almost identical. Almost identical.
right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of fascinating.
Yeah, I think just one other day, the market was down, Tesla was down, Lucid was down, everything was down, and Polestar was like kind of break even. I think that was actually my last video, and that's when I kind of realized like this short squeeze potential can be something, and I don't know, at least until something happens with short borrow and all that. I'm looking forward to that. But I have a video. I'm not sure if you guys want to. We could talk deliveries in just a second. I have a video that is actually pretty optimistic. I'm gonna go ahead and play this and let me know what you guys think. This is basically related to people actually jumping on the EV train, basically, as they plan to buy their new vehicle. They think it's gonna be an electric vehicle. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you guys
Making the
listen.
switch by flipping a switch. A recent survey by AAA has found that a quarter of American drivers plan to go electric when it comes to picking their next car. Many have already made the switch, according to new numbers from Cox Automotive's Kelley Blue Book. Compared to Q2 of last year, sales of EVs have jumped 66.4%, while sales of all electric-powered cars jumped a record 12.9%. Let's bring in Kelley Blue Book executive editor Brian Moody, along with our senior autos correspondent Praz Subramanian with us here at the desk. So these numbers are certainly not surprising when you look at sort of the cost-benefit right now with gas prices so high. My question to you is the supply there to meet the kind of demand we're seeing?
There is, and there will continue to be. There are more electric cars for sale now than there ever have been before, and that will continue to increase as time goes by.
Hey, Brian, this is Pras here. I'm kind of curious about what you thought about some of the survey data talking about how people are concerned about fuel prices and high prices at the pump, but we're seeing actually sales of hybrids and plug-in hybrids actually down. Is that also more of a supply concern, or is it more of like from what I think is they're not so popular as a desirable product?
So I think that's an education thing. It's an interesting point that you took that from the data. I saw the same thing and I thought it was curious, but I think it's a little bit of an education thing, because plug-in hybrids specifically, for most people, will function like an electric car most of the time, and they're also less expensive, and they don't present any issues if you're going on a long road trip. So, of course, electric cars get all the headlines, but plug-in hybrids may be a great solution for just the average consumer, let's say.
Yeah, which has kind of been the bet for companies like Toyota, right? Who've long said that's kind of the transitional car
Exactly.
that's necessary. When we talked about mass adoption, I mean, the issue has always been having the.
And I was just gonna chime in real quick. I think that's kind of funny, right? People are actually preferring like fully electric vehicles and versus hybrids. And the way I see it is kind of like hybrids are the old thing, electric vehicles are the new thing. Like people don't want like I don't want to say boomer or Gen Z or millennials and stuff, but millennials don't want to get a hybrid. That's like boomer talk, I would say. Like that's like old school stuff. So I think people are more excited about a fully electric vehicle, and that kind of relates to some of the stuff I saw on Polestar 1 and Polestar 2. There was an article I was reading, and they were saying that Polestar 1 didn't really have that success because, as soon as that came out, then Tesla just said, hey, we're just going to make a Model 3 with fully electric and stuff, and it just like really outdid Polestar 1. So, I don't know. That was cool. I'm going to play this though.
Infrastructure follow as well. When you see where these EVs are being sold right now, are we still talking about the major cities, those that have the infrastructure in place? Or are you starting to see a bit more of a diversification?
Well, here's what we're seeing, and I think that this one particular data point tells you a lot. For example, we know that about 80% of electric vehicle owners charge their car up at home. So what does that tell you? That tells you a few things. A, that you can afford a home, or that you can afford a way to modify your home to charge it up, or that you live in a place that's safe enough to plug it in without someone messing with your plug and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of growing to do with regard to the infrastructure. It's getting better. You definitely can do it. I think one of the things that's telling in this is that maybe Tesla was really onto something by developing their own charging network, something that maybe we didn't appreciate years ago, but all of a sudden it seems like a really smart move.
Well, Brian, let's talk about Tesla, though, because that hasn't necessarily helped them hold on to the market share that they have, because there's so many other options now from Audi, BMW, Lexus, so many other car manufacturers. What are you seeing in terms of their market share declining, and is that trend going to continue?
I think a couple of things with regard to Tesla. It's going to continue to decline somewhat as their overall share of EVs, because more players are going to come into the market and more people will consider those cars. But think of this. Tesla is the dominant player in the US, not just in electric cars right now, but in luxury cars. That means they're outpacing well-known brands like BMW. So that's one thing to consider. I also think there may be a slight dip in Tesla's market share as those other cars come on. But once the average consumer realizes, oh, they have their own charging network and they charge up super fast, I think it's going to dip and then it's going to go back up past beyond what it was to begin with. That's a smart move that I don't think the average person quite understands how convenient it is to have the supercharging network at your disposal.
So Brian, your data.
Hey, what do you think about that, Zane? I think he was spot on with some of that stuff he's saying.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Especially the thing about Tesla building up their own charging network, like much earlier than anyone thought to do the same thing, even like Volkswagen.
Right. And I honestly, I was more interested in for me, what I picked up is just the competition, and he was saying like the market share is gonna continue to decline, and that's because everybody else is jumping on board. But I don't know. I think it's really cool that there's more opportunities, and it's just gonna give more options to people who are buying electric vehicles.
Definitely.
This shows about 5.5% of the
Especially
market.
the fact that people don't really want to choose hybrid instead of going electric. If the cost is the same, fully electric just makes more sense.
I thought
Long
hybrids was a
term.
little bit cheaper though. So what he said, I think they might come down. I think the electric vehicles.
Like I've seen like Toyota hybrids, they're typically cheaper than like a Tesla Model 3.
Right. Yeah, the hybrids are cheaper. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
general consensus.
Right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what he said too. But eventually, at some point, right now electric vehicles are more expensive, obviously, because of like material costs and things. But at some point, they're trying to cut those expenses down and be able to get an affordable electric vehicle to people. I don't know how realistic or what the timeline is for that, but I mean, I think that's the end goal for people.
Market right now is EVs, according to Q2
for sure.
data.
And I've
We
already heard
referenced
like
a study today about
information
how
coming out of China that there are some electric vehicles that are extremely cheap. I'm talking like 15 grand, 10 grand. But of course, the mileage is extremely low. And the car, obviously, it doesn't look anything like a Tesla Model 3. It's more like a smart car.
It's interesting. You'll have to share that with me. I know they're probably, and since you say they're shorter range, are they talking about more like battery swaps? I know actually one of the guys on the Discord, he talks about that being a possibility where instead of charging, I don't know if it was on Discord or somebody joining the chat, but he was talking about instead of showing up to charge, you just show up and swap your battery out and then be on the go. Instead of wait. I don't know if that's the same thing you're thinking or talking about, but that's something I heard about before.
It's not the same thing. They're slightly different. So the company who does battery swapping majoritively is called NIO. They're a Chinese manufacturer.
Oh right, yeah,
But there's
Neo.
some other Chinese manufacturers as well who are building vehicles that are just like $10,000 for an EV. So that's the Chinese are already making some big shift into that area. The problem is typical Chinese companies like NIO and XPeng, they're not really coming to Europe and America as of yet. So it's taking some time.
Interesting. I'm gonna play the rest of this video and then we'll move on to deliveries. If anybody on the chat has questions or anything, just feel free to add them. We'll try to get to them.
25% of Americans say they will buy an EV when their next car purchase comes up. When do you think we'll get to that point in a few years' time where we'll actually see that 25% of the market being pure EVs?
So here's what I think will happen. So you're exactly right. One thing that we're seeing is consideration is up. So for example, people are saying, I'm open to the idea of getting an electric car or a plug-in hybrid, but that doesn't always translate into sales. And I think what happens is people look at the price and they say, okay, maybe next time. So as soon as the price starts to get a little bit more in line with what you would pay for the average car today, then I think you'll see that take off. Because right now, the average price of an electric car, let's just say for June, was over $66,000. That's quite a bit of money when you think about where we are today, even with gas prices. Remember, factor everything in with your car purchase, not just the gas, the depreciation, the insurance, the cost of purchasing it. Those things have to come down for widespread adoption of electric cars to come. It will come, it's just not going to be tomorrow.
Which is an important point to make, because if you think about maintenance that's required for EVs, I mean, over the course of the car, some would argue it's already cheaper, but that sticker price still isn't there.
Yes.
I mean, does it come down to that more than the gas price itself? You know, gas prices have people thinking about it, but the price has got to be within, you know, $30,000 to $40,000 range instead of the 60, 70 we're talking about today.
That's exactly right. And when you look at only one thing, one parameter, it's short-sighted. It's just like investing. You want to look at the whole picture, not just one tiny box. So yes, you can save money on gas by buying an electric car. If someone gives you an electric car for free, great. You're going to make all kinds of savings by not buying gasoline. But the purchase price and the financing of that, because the price was higher, is going to cost you. But as you said, over the long haul, those electric cars tend to require less maintenance. And as the price comes down, it's going to be attractive. I think one more thing, the average American, if they were to drive an electric car, I think they'd really like it. We're not there yet. The average American probably hasn't spent much time in an electric car. I think they'd like it once they try it, and maybe that will be worth spending a little bit of extra money for.
Well, either way you cut or slice it, more and more Americans getting into EVs. Maybe it's just a supply issue. Kelley Blue Book Executive Editor Brian.
All right, we're done with him. Hey, I think some of the stuff he was talking about is actually important. Like basically, we were talking about the car prices just before he even talked about it. But yeah, I don't think the prices are in line, and I think ideally, just with the gas and all the crises, people are just ideally thinking, oh, it makes sense to go electric. But you're gonna pay a lot more for an electric vehicle right now. I hate to be bearish right now, but right now the gas price crisis is making the vehicles more attractive, which is good. But I guess from a savings point, it doesn't make sense just yet, especially at the current price. And with more demand, that actually raises Tesla vehicle price, Polestar prices. That's why there's been people that just been buying Teslas and then flipping them, making profit on them. I don't know if you've heard of that, Zane. But yeah, maybe it might just take a little bit longer, for to actually get savings. But I think the demand is definitely there. And I had one other thing I wanted to say. Yeah, but I guess in the long run, once they get those price downs, the bottom lines and things, then over the long haul, like he was saying, maintenance and stuff will definitely be worth it. But I don't know. Anything to add there, Zane?
Yeah, I think the demand is definitely there for EV cars. Literally, especially people who consider safety. You got to think, what's the safest cars right now in the world? EV
The
cars.
Volvo. I was gonna say the Volvo.
I love Volvos. I love Volvos, but I thought the Tesla Model 3 beats out Volvos, or am I incorrect?
I think the Polestar was on the top ranks for safety electric vehicles. I think it beat Tesla. I'm not sure though. I think we covered that in some of the older videos. So don't quote me. But yeah, I mean, I do see what you're saying though. Just in general, I guess electric vehicles would be more safety, and you actually save more. You insurance and stuff. If you get a newer car and it comes with more sensors, cameras and stuff, you actually save in your car insurance because of all these things. I don't know if you noticed if you noticed that. But if you get an older vehicle that doesn't have any of that, then you end up paying a lot more.
A lot more, yeah, because I think the general consensus in the UK at least is that if you buy an older vehicle, people are more likely to crash it, not because it doesn't work properly, but because people don't care about an old vehicle that they just bought for cheap. So they're
Mm-hmm.
much more likely to crash it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
why it's so expensive in the UK.
Right. And this picture reminds me of, I think we did talk about the safety stuff. There's an old article about the grading reporting or the grading that Polestar got for saving. But I'm gonna shift over to the reports for the first half of this year, which I think was pretty impressive. I got a couple things highlighted here. You know, they're reporting 125% increase in electric sales during just the first half. So I don't know if you guys follow Polestar since last year, but I think they did what 29K for it last year. Um,
29K, yeah.
mhm. And so this is actually the thing that I was talking about. After first initially launching Polestar, they it was kind of an awkward reveal, or just they launched Polestar One. It was a very expensive plug-in hybrid, right? And then quickly it got outdated, right? That's basically what we saw in the audio on that video. Is as soon as that hybrid got announced, Tesla turned around and said, "Yo, we're gonna make that Tesla Model 3 competitor," and it was really just what's the right word? It just made it. That's why Polestar 1 didn't perform very well. So that's why Polestar 2 is performing much better, because it's a fully electric vehicle. But that was just a little backstory on that I was trying to talk about. These are the numbers here. Q2 delivery results: confirmed deliveries grew 125%, 21,200 units during the first half of 2022. The total goal is 50K, I believe, right? They've reduced their guidance due to some of the China lockdowns and things from 65,000 down to 50,000. One of the things, I guess, is just the amount that they've changed from last year. So first half of last year, they only did 9,500. First half of this year, they did 125%, which is 21,000 vehicles. And honestly, me personally, I honestly think they'll probably do more than 50,000. I think they'll do probably like 55, close to 60. I don't know, because they did lock down for China. Now this is kind of in the air if China locks down again for a longer term, but they've already like started ramping up their second shifts, production shifts. I was reading that they're gonna make up for some of that time lost. So I don't know if you read some of that stuff, Zane, but I think some of the guidance is maybe a little low. I think they can definitely do. So they did 21,000 in the first half, but with growth, more markets, more exposure, more demand. Well, I don't know if there'll be the same demand actually, because the economy is slowing down, but I still think they can beat 50,000. What do you think, Zane?
I think they can definitely beat 50,000. I like the idea that they could achieve something between 50 to 60,000 ideally.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Because I think 50,000 was them just underselling themselves so that they
Hmm.
could probably just surprise us at the end of the year by doing maybe 55,000 or 60,000.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, they're a growth company, right? So it's not going to move linear, right? So if I was to say they don't grow the second half, they would make like 42, almost 43,000. But obviously, there's going to be some growth in this third quarter, fourth quarter, from the new markets that are existing, and then new markets coming online. Which I kind of want to reassure you guys, they reaffirmed their full target of 50,000. That's why I kind of wanted to say that. I think it's I don't know. I don't put don't put like money on this, but I definitely think they can beat that goal. So. Something that he said, Thomas, the homie said, I don't know why I call him the homie. He said, "I see the number of enthusiasts Polestar 2s growing so quickly." That probably comes out of Europe. I think there's a lot of fan base there, just because of Volvo, and I don't know, just social media. I see a lot of people talking about European, outselling out there and stuff, but they still see a lot of strong momentum going into the second half of this year. Well, they've seen momentum this year, and I'm sure it's gonna continue going. And for the once they get new cars revealed and stuff, we got Polestar 3, which I think is gonna be a huge market for them, just in general. That's probably like the sweet vehicle. Like that's the market, that the most popular market. It's it's got room. It's it's good for the family. kind of still hip, I guess. I don't know, but that's the go-to market. That's the most the biggest market cap. I don't know how to actually put it into words for y'all, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a good market for them. And just some of the markets that 103 to 125 this year, and they've got 30 more expected to open by the end of 2022. So still growth ahead. So that kind of reassures some of those growth numbers can definitely be done. Right now we're in 25 markets, and then we just had 19 at the beginning of the year. So that's pretty good growth, I would say. Anything you want to add? I kind of already talked about the China lockdowns and stuff. So
Yeah, so something that just came to mind, something I remembered that I was researching a while ago regarding Polestar actually is I know they're opening up new spaces, which is good. That will get us more customers, that will get us more exposure, but the way they conduct the sale of their vehicle is quite traditional, like any dealership would, which is quite different from Polestar, of course. Sorry, it's quite different from Tesla, of course, because Tesla, they don't do dealerships, So I wanted to get your opinion on that. How do you think this could impact Polestar if they continue the traditional way of selling vehicles instead of adopting the Tesla fashion of selling vehicles?
what's the Tesla passion for the people in the back? Just give us a difference in.
So Tesla typically just makes it as easy as possible to buy a car on their website,
Mhm.
and essentially it's either a pickup somewhere in a like in the UK. It's typically a pickup somewhere close by a Tesla lot, like in a parking lot at a mall where Tesla operates, a store. I think they do deliveries in the UK as well, but they typically just make it as easy as possible. But instead, with Polestar, they're taking the more traditional way of selling vehicles, which is quite similar to Volvo, Mercedes. And what they do is that they've typically in the US actually, they typically give their vehicles to dealerships, and those dealerships can sell the vehicle at whatever price they want. And
Mhm.
sometimes that can create confusions for the customers and a bad experience as well, especially recently with the Mercedes EQS vehicles. Customers were having to pay an extremely high price compared to buying it from the company at a dealership. They had to pay a much higher price, and the customer service was just terrible because the dealership doesn't have to worry about the customer satisfactions because they're just selling a product that someone else made. So at the end of the day, Mercedes gets blamed for it, but it's not really Mercedes' fault that the
Yeah.
customers are having a bad experience of buying this vehicle that is extremely limited. So that's what I wanted to get your thoughts on, is that
Yeah.
should Polestar adopt this new style of selling vehicles, which is like, just make it as similar to Tesla, just make it as easy as possible.
Well, I think they have both. I think they have the online, you can go, direct to consumer, but even like the spaces, I don't think there's like a little difference. Like they don't like the sellers. I've read that the Polestar spaces, they're not making money off commission. Like they're just either you buy the car because you want it, I'm not gonna make any money, or you don't buy it. And I don't I know there's like dealerships, but I think the spaces are not like sales commission based. Like, and I'm pretty sure I've read that before. So I don't know about that too much, but I will say, even Tesla is getting into the used vehicle market now. So I don't know if they're gonna start building like little either like dealerships or anything, but I don't think having local physical locations is a bad thing, especially because there's always gonna be some maintenance and stuff. So um, I don't know exactly what all can be done at these spaces and stuff, but I would assume you can, set up a maintenance or, take a look at the vehicle, or even like, trade it in for something else. But I don't think having physical locations is a terrible thing. And just to kind of reassure, I'm pretty sure there was an article where they said the spaces, they don't make any commission off of the sales, but the salesman, but I would have to go back and read that again. So I don't
Yeah,
know if
that's
you've.
something I gotta check out.
Okay, yeah. We can look it up. I'll look it up later or send it to you, but I'm pretty sure they don't make any commissions. So we'll take a look at offline and we'll take a look at it. So one other thing I just wanted to share with you, I guess we're pretty much done with the sales and stuff. I think they're really good, and I'm pretty much excited for the second half. I think, not related to any of the stock price, but I think potential as a company, I think it's actually doing really good because you can compare any of these numbers to some of the other vehicles. It's not even close. Some of the other companies, right? One thing I wanted to just mention or add is just demand. Basically, the homie Tom has said when it comes to order intake, we are on a very safe track, making numbers that we put out for 22. Even now, in July, we are already on a safe ground with that. So he's got confidence that they'll meet the goals and the targets and stuff. And there's one other thing I wanted to talk about. Demand is so strong with a backlog of 50,000 orders. Now, it's not clear how Polestar is accounting for the orders of 65,000 vehicles from Hertz that I received earlier this year. So I don't exactly know the breakdown of this. I think, what is the Hertz deal? Is it a 3-year or a 6-year or something? I was just going to break it down. I think it was like 12,000 per year or something. Is that right? I don't remember. Do you know his name? What the deal was? The 65 vehicle Hertz deal? I think it might
So
have
for
been.
the 65,000 vehicles, it was over the course of 5 years, I believe.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
they've already started delivering those vehicles to Hertz.
right. So it could be that, maybe the way that they accounted for this 50,000 order backlog is, maybe like 13,000 for this year, and then the other 37, is that right? 37 is just natural organic orders from customers and everything else just from the markets. I think that's the way that they probably did this. And then obviously we'll have another 52 backlog for the next 4 or 5 years. So I don't know. I think that's how it works. But that's just my sense there. Any questions on this, guys? The next topic, what do I want to talk about? Oh, I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on this. I don't know if you guys been seeing this surf around the web and stuff, but having a little wagon version of the Polestar 2, what do you guys think? That'd be pretty neat, right?
I think that's an interesting concept. I actually shared it on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a few negative response. People saying they're not interested in like an electric wagon because with the SUVs coming in like the Polestar 3, that will kind of make it irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I brought up an interesting point that Porsche, which is Polestar's main competitor, in my opinion, either Porsche or
Right.
Tesla. But Porsche has a Taycan Turbo S. It's like a wagon kind of like it's a different version to the typical Porsche Taycan, and
Yeah.
it looks like a wagon basically, and it sells really good for a wagon, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. So it's definitely in the question for Polestar to do something similar, but I don't think it's going to be as ugly as that car. That I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to be as ugly as the concept, basically.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this design model. The design's a no for me. And for me personally, I kind of agree with some of the people that were talking to you about it. I think even if I don't know what the Taycan is or how it looks exactly, I know it's Polestar and Porsche are going to be competitors and stuff, but even if it's not the Polestar 3 that they're I just don't think this one's needed, this model. Because we have the Polestar 3, and if not, we have the smaller one coming out, the Polestar 4. I would say if the Polestar 4 wasn't on, because I think that's what a 4-door sedan too is just going to be a smaller one. Is that right? So I think that would actually like kind of replace this, and me personally,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. The Polestar 4 will be a smaller,
four
like
door.
a smaller SUVs, I
Right.
believe.
So I think this is kind of that's similar to this. The Polestar 3 is definitely going to be that bigger one, but that 4, I think it's going to be. I don't know if there'll be a market for this one. That's what I'm thinking, though. I don't know. So,
They're
and
a
yeah,
while
the
away
the
from it.
design's
I'd
ugly.
say we're like a few years away, I'd say, for before anything like this comes into plan.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So you're
Yeah,
saying maybe
for sure.
this is still a possibility since the Polestar 4 is so far out?
It's a possibility, but it's no time soon. It's a possibility. Say if the Polestar 5 does extremely well, then it's a possibility. Because Polestar is also considering building the Polestar on 2. I don't know if you've heard about that, but it's
Yeah,
yeah,
heard
it's
about
it's
it.
it's
I
what I've
think it's too
been
early for that. I think they
yeah, I
need to
think
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah.
My bad.
I
No, you're
was
good.
I was doing a time frame on it because if we compare it to Tesla, a lot of people say Polestar shouldn't have created this vehicle if they're never going to build it, and I've said like, wait a minute, Polestar has a history of creating a concept and then creating the real vehicle 5 years after, and people are saying, well, that's too long, and I'm saying, hold on a minute, because Tesla announced the Roadster and the Cybertruck like 5 years ago, 2017, I think it was. So, and we're still waiting. So,
Right.
really and truly, we just need to be patient with Polestar. They can develop the Polestar 02. It's just that it's going to take them maybe 3 years to develop it from now, and another
Yeah.
3 years to build the thing. So we're
Mhm.
looking at we're looking at 6, 7 years at least. But
Yeah,
it's
it's 6 years.
no different from what Tesla's doing.
For me, like I feel like I like that they're, branching out into stuff because it shows that the company has, the Polestar 5 is not the end of the company. There's basically, expressing that they want to continue growing, and it shows ambition and stuff, right? So that's good. I just don't think that the resources and effort should be focused on that cuz really, like, what they need to do is, for me, like, just keep releasing Polestar 3 news, because that's what we all want to see, right? But instead, we'll get like
For
a
sure.
O2 and stuff. But I do like in the way that that they're being ambitious as like continuing the roadmap. Basically, it doesn't end at the Polestar 5, right?
For
They're gonna
sure.
continue with the car model lineup or whatever. So I don't know. And this one's obviously is just fan related, so I don't know how serious this one honestly is. But I thought it was kind of funny that you mentioned it was kind of ugly because I thought the same thing. But
Yeah,
um,
it's not a good looking car at all.
no, and I
No.
don't know. He added like a body kit or something. But the other more, I would say something that looks more cool or a lot more genuine is this bike rack and this bike on top of this Polestar 2. What do you think about this? This is a I'm sure you probably already talked about it on your channel, but it's just basically a collab, like making a little bike for the mountains and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was very cool, but the
Hmm.
bike should be electric at least. That was
Right.
my one gripe with that one. That
Yeah.
was my one gripe.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. There's a few electric scooters or electric bike companies, like I don't know, Hillbiz or some others. NIU. I wish they would have done something like that too, but I think this is looks cool aesthetically. I think the main thing was just, get some market out there for Polestar, and I think they're gonna be selling this on their website, on their little Polestar site. They'll have two different colors, snow and space. I think it's a little expensive, but maybe it's not for some other
Yeah,
people. It's 9,500.
yeah.
Hey, let's
It's
go, Nick
definitely
Landon.
expensive.
I caught you live. Let's go. We just need analyst ratings. Every day we get closer to the Polestar 3. The news today was great because, in my opinion, Rivian and Lucid are not going to make their 2022 goals, but we should be able to. Yes, yes, I agree. Everything you said, spot on, man. What's up? It's good to have you though, Nick. Um, yeah, I didn't even think about. We kind of talked a little bit about Lucid and Rivian, but I didn't really think if I didn't think about if they would make it or not. I just don't care enough about them. But what do you think about them, Zane? Let me pull up
In
their.
what sort of sense? For
Well,
Lucid and
do you think
Rivian?
they'll beat their goals, or I know Polestar is definitely. I mean, we just talked about it. I think they're definitely on track to be able to get those 50K vehicles. But as
Right,
far as
right.
Rivian, you think they'll meet their goals? I don't even know what their. Do you know their goals for
I
2022 are?
think I think Rivian goals are, what is it, 20,000 vehicles for this year or 25,000 vehicles.
Hmm.
Um, I think recently they announced in Q2 that they sold over 4,400 vehicles, I believe.
Just
Um,
4,000?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's
So I'm
good
thinking,
in terms of their targets, but it's just not enough market
yeah,
share.
yeah,
But
it's
go ahead. I
definitely
didn't mean
not
to
enough
cut you off.
to like compared to their market cap anyway. It's definitely not enough. But
Hmm.
I am a little bit surprised that they managed to deliver over 4,000 in
Right.
3 months. I
Right.
thought they would probably be around 2,000 at the most, to be honest.
Hmm.
So it was a surprise for me. So given that these companies, typically with Tesla, Polestar, Rivian, what they're able to do, the longer they go through the year, is the more they're able to produce, the faster they can produce vehicles. So I'm estimating that in the next 3 months, they'll be able to produce at least between 5 to 6,000. And the month after that, again, perhaps 5 to 6,000. That's at least 10 to 12,000, which perhaps is enough to get them above the 20,000 vehicles goal. I
For
think
sure.
it's
For
twenty
sure.
thousand. I could be wrong. It could be 25,000, but it still surprised me because I didn't expect them to deliver over 4,000 to be honest.
Right, and I was gonna ask you about Lucid, but I was just gonna ask the people in the back if you guys have made it to the video so far, make sure to hit the like button for us. If you guys like the collab that we did today, I appreciate it. Help the video get out to other people and stuff. But going on with that, what are the goals for Lucid this year? I'm gonna pull up their chart right now. Actually, we'll take a look at that. But do you know their goals? It's crazy because like you said, Blue Rivian's only doing 20K. We basically did that last year, so it's like we're a full year ahead of like every other competitor. You know what? Even though Rivian's not a competitor, it's still in the same sector. But
Yeah,
um,
yeah, we're definitely ahead of Rivian for sure, and that's just amazing given that they're more valuable in market cap.
mm-hmm. Right. And for Lucid, you said what's the goal for them this year? I know it's like in the 20K, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's in the 20K, either 20K or 25K.
Mhm.
But I could find out quickly.
So what's cumulatively, right? So if you take a look at Polestar cumulatively, we've done about 29K last year. We've already done 20K this year, so we're near like 50K vehicles out on the road. By the end of the year, we should have about almost nearly 80K vehicles out there in, customers' hands, hopefully. So just imagine like the brand exposure after that. Like you're gonna if people see, oh, I finally saw a Polestar, it's gonna be so much more common and down in a few months, especially the hype that's going to come with the Polestar 3, the market that they're going to be able to, that's just going to really like solidify. Like I've said it before, like I think Polestar like definitely is learning from like their mistakes and stuff, and it's just going to keep getting better. This is not their first time. Like they've already ramped up production for Polestar 2. They're going to learn what they, from the mistakes they did there, and they're just going to hopefully carry that over to Polestar 3. And I think Polestar 3, ramp up should be a lot smoother. And then obviously anything that can come into mind, we always have Volvo there, kind of supporting financially too. So Nick says it was 20, but lowered I think to about 12, 14. Is that really? That's crazy. And it might. I forgot. I don't follow Lucid as much, but it may be because I don't. Didn't they do the recalls and stuff? I don't know. I didn't follow up on that, but I know they had recalls. So I don't know. Do you know the end story with that, Zane? The
Is that with Lucid or Rivian?
Yeah. Well, did Rivian do recalls too? I only know that Lucid did the recalls. Because it was like people could like crash or something, right? It was like
I
most of their
heard
vehicles
I
too.
heard I heard Rivian did some recalls as well.
Hmm.
Um,
I might
but
have to
we
look
we
that
do
up.
need to be a bit careful with the recall and numbers because every company does recalls.
Right.
So it's a fact of like reading into the articles a bit deeper and do some research to figure out how badly the recalls will affect the company because
Yeah.
often these articles they're a bit tricky with
Hmm. Okay.
reporting on recalls.
Gotcha. Yeah,
But
this is. I
yeah,
think this might have been the one. I don't know if you can still see on your screen, but this is, I think, the one they recall all their 2022 Air EVs due to wiring issues. think this is what
Yeah.
I saw a while ago. This came out in May, so just a few months ago. But you're right. Maybe it's exaggerated. Is that what you're trying to get at? Maybe it's exaggerated.
Yeah,
So they
exactly. Sometimes it's definitely over exaggerated with recalls.
And it's just to maybe it's just to fluctuate price and stuff on the stock market too. That could be it. But that's insane. I kind of want to research what their goals is. Nick says it's 12 to 14,000 vehicles. I'm not sure if he meant for Lucid or for Rivian, but
So that would be for Lucid. I just found it on my end.
oh, you did.
Um,
You might
initially
you mind
initially it
plugging
was
that up in the
20,000.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna say if you could plug it up on Discord and I could just share it on here for the people. But
Okay. Yeah, let me send it over. I'll send it over in the voice chat.
sweet, that'd be
So
dope. And
yeah,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna pull that
initially
up.
it was 20,000, but they had a reduction.
Okay, okay. Time to sell. Where's the O's? Which increased from 13 to 17 in September. Right, they did update their guidance, right? Last November or something, like 2021. They're like, "Yo, we're gonna move up our targets." I guess they ended up pushing those back.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Hmm.
so.
Finish with
Seeing
fear.
seeing that they dropped it to around 12 to 14,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Nick was on point with that. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you, man. You're a good man. You're a good man. So hits 12 to 14,000. That's insane though. Like, I mean, we did that in the first half, I would say. Not even the first half, like the first quarter. About just a little under the first, a little over 1 quarter. So yeah, I'm not gonna start hating on Lucid though, because I know there's people in here, but you guys know which one's the one to invest in, right? Am I right? Is that we'll probably leave that to another conversation, but we're definitely gonna probably do another collab, probably on his channel, so you guys go subscribe to him. We're just gonna do EV talk if that's cool with you, and we'll just talk about who's gonna go bankrupt, who's gonna win, so we'll definitely do that. So subscribe to
For
my channel,
sure.
subscribe to his channel, hit the like button for us. I appreciate everything you guys do for me, but I want to move over to this little improvement with the charging thing. They did 120K to 150K, which I guess is, I don't know how impressive this is. Do you know much about the charging and stuff?
I don't know much about the charging, to be honest,
Hmm.
with Polestar vehicles. But
Well, let me
I'm
read
reading
a.
what you've got on screen here.
Okay, go ahead, go. I'm gonna read a comment real quick. Yeah, I think Luce is going to have really bad numbers Q2. I hate to say it because I wanted them to succeed. I wrote that one from 19 to 40. Hey, let's go. I did $12 till like 18. I got out so early, 18 to 20. Yeah, I've made videos a long time ago. You guys can go check them out, but I got it back when it was CCIV. I made some money, so I can't be mad. But just learning over time, you kind of realize which companies, especially now with the market like really changing dynamics and stuff, like you really have to really see fundamentals. It's not just like a buy and hold. Well, it can be a buy and hold, but you gotta look into the potential of that company and valuations and things. And I'm not a financial advisor by any means, so I'm still learning things, but just the things that I pick up, I try to share with people. But yeah, I think it's just a learning process. Hey, we got Trippy in here. I'm not sure if he didn't jump in. Well, I didn't even know in here. You want to say what's up to the people, Trippy? Man, when did you join? So he's probably shut. He's on mute right now. But I guess not much on this charging stuff. I think it's just cool that Polestar has the over-the-air updates. Maybe making a little tweet here and there, just trying to continuously improve just the vehicle and stuff, right? And obviously they have that one partnership with that. Honestly, I don't remember the company, but they're gonna be working with somebody about a battery that charges in like 5 to 15 minutes. So we'll see how that
Yes,
develops. I
yes,
think it's super
indeed.
early. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I heard about it. I was just agreeing with you. That was some amazing news actually. They
Hmm.
actually invested in that company, a company that's based in Israel, I believe.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think it's super
yeah,
early though, so I don't really want to put my eggs on that basket. I really want to just see what Polestar on their own can actually develop because the Polestar 3 is what's supposed to have like over 200 or over 300 range. So that's way before any of those products can come out from that company. So I think that partnership's awesome and stuff, but definitely not, keeping my hopes up on what comes out of that. I'm really just seeing what the potential is out of Polestar themselves. And obviously they got Volvo and stuff, so it's like if they need help, they're obviously, you know, two great minds think better, you know, so they're working closely. Like their models are gonna look pretty similar. Technology, you know, Nvidia, Qualcomm, laser, they got everything, so it's all good, you know. The last thing I want to cover here, I don't know how much more time we got, but I want to talk about just the price hike. This is something I kind of talk about in every video, not every video, but a lot of videos I talk about how Polestar might raise their prices up. Tesla's already done like 2 or 3 times. For the 2023 model, we raised the prices up, right? But there's this article that was coming out that they might raise their prices up again. So this is something that I was talking about a while ago, that even though they've already raised their prices up, so it was, I guess the timeline was like Tesla rose their prices up, and then I was like, okay, Tesla's raised their prices up, Polestar has an advantage, and then Polestar raised their prices up at some point, and so now it was like, okay, well, now the only really advantage that Polestar had over Tesla was, you know, the price tag. But then Tesla raised up their prices again. Obviously they know what's going on in the market, and so I was like, you know, at some point, you know, either material costs or whatever, you know, it's going to impact to where a lot of the companies, even Ford, I think, raised their prices up, or they cut back on some of their features for their models. And so it's just like, it's not just the one company thing, it's like a generic sector thing, like where they have to raise up prices to be able to meet margins and things. And even Elon was talking about that at one point, where I don't want to say anything, but they said Lucid and Rivian would go bankrupt. And so I don't know. At the end of the day, I think, you know, raising prices, I think, is definitely in the picture. And I think, you know, the CEO Thomas was kind of hinting at that. So this was just last month on June 9th. Announced that it had received more than 32,000 orders. I think it's above that now, because we just looked at the deliveries. It was like 50,000 orders since the start of 22, which is 290% in the same period. But just in general, the company has increased the Polestar 2 prices with the recent model. So the 2023 model has a higher price tag. And it may introduce another price hike by the end of 2022. So this is basically what I was looking at, or thinking about, just getting ahead of myself. But some of the causes would probably be related to batteries, semiconductors, of course. Yeah, and then raw materials. So I don't know, just kind of wanted to bring that up as well. You have anything to add to that, Zane? I think.
Absolutely. So I don't remember what you said a moment ago, like a couple of minutes ago, but
Mhm.
it reminded me of something big that happened today. So some huge news hit. I'm sure you probably heard about it, and it's regarding to inflation. I
Mhm.
think it's at, what is it, 9.2%, and it's the highest the U.S. inflation has been in 40 years. So
Is that this one right here?
speaking
This
of
article?
price, yes, that's the one. So speaking of price rise with electric cars, I think these big companies such as Tesla and Geely are actually noticing that inflation is not just affecting the the typical vehicle market, it's also affecting the electric car market as well. And I think this is something that they're adjusting for as well, which
Right,
is
right.
inflation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I guess nothing really to cover in here. You just, the main topic was inflation here, right? So nothing I need to go over.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I guess the last thing we want to cover is short interest. I don't know. Do you believe in the short squeeze? Do you do you think there's a short squeeze, or are you playing it just as the company? What are your thoughts on this? Um,
Personally, companies are going to be shorted.
mhm.
Either either way, to be honest. Like if I was a millionaire, I'd be shorting some companies as well, because there's some companies out there like like Lucid. I would be shorting Lucid for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Just because I know it's going to go down. I'm actually waiting for Lucid to hit 10 billion in market cap so I can buy some shares, because I think that's where they're supposed to be
Hmm.
recently.
Right. Let me
In
chime
my
in real
opinion.
quick. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't know. I thought you were done.
No, no, no. Continue.
No, I was gonna read a comment. We were talking about going down and stuff. Nick was talking about they may go bankrupt, but have some good cash on hand, right? At least for another year or two. if you have any Lucid, I would potentially sell on the next large pump. So yeah, I kind of agree with some of that. The reason for me that I'm not selling the Polestars though is because of the short squeeze. I think there's people talking about Lucid also being potentially a short squeeze candidate. I'm not exact. I don't follow it, to be honest, but if you guys know about it, just let me know in the comments if you're watching this later. I do know people kind of follow that as a short squeeze, but for this one, for Polestar and PSNY, potentially, this is a post SPAC squeeze that I see. Like every SPAC, you guys, we've covered it in the charts. Many other SPACs, Redbox, AlgaeGo, what else? Volta, kinda. Wait, not Volta. I'm sorry. Orbit. I'm sorry. Vorb. It's called Vorb. Orbit. I know for sure Tritium. That shit went to $20. IronNet. Just a lot of like different SPACs. Did the squeeze. So still got hopes on this one. And then after the squeeze, then you kind of reevaluate valuations. And you kind of, if you pick the stocks you want to invest in for the long term. So I obviously want you guys to make your own decisions and stuff, but I want to be clear that, I'm really looking forward to the squeeze. That's why I got options. Obviously, they're in the water right now, but I might actually buy some more options, even though, because they're starting to look interesting again, but we'll kind of see. I might average down on them. Just got to get a little bit more dough, a little bit more cash on me, but we'll see how that goes. The other thing I want to talk about is the short interest. This actually came down. Latest is 108, so it's near the high of the day, but we were doing 200 like just a few days ago, so it is a little depressing, but it's still an insane percent rate. 100% borrow fee rate is crazy. And then the last thing I want to show you guys is just the overall volume that's reported to Vinra. Now, this is not the entire volume for the stock. This is just what got reported here. So total volume is almost 900,000. Half of it, about 47%, is shorted. What's interesting though is yesterday, I'm not sure, did we have a good day yesterday? It was only like 40%. So that's a little sign of relief that some of the shorts are, easing up on us. And right now there's actually no shares available. So I don't really know how this actually works, because for some reason, even though there's no shares available, it feels like we still get shorted and stuff. But it's just good numbers to look at. I'm gonna shift over to the chart. We're gonna just do another, recap on the chart. And if you have any input, Shane, just on short data or something, just let me know. And then we'll take a look at some comments in a bit. But yeah, you have anything to say about the short stuff? I think you're saying everything's gonna get shorted if you're a millionaire. But what do you think about Polestar as far as like their numbers there?
Yeah, I think since the SPAC before the pre-merger actually, I actually noticed that the amount of short positions were less, but the amount of shares that were being shorted were more. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it was just some information that I found on Twitter that that was just quite interesting. Since the SPAC is completely merged, I've just realized that there is more shorting that's happening, but individually it's less shares. So the company is definitely being shorted more, but so far I'm not really seeing it affecting the share price that much. The share
Right.
price is actually doing better than I expected.
Yeah, and we're actually up after hours. But yeah, no, I think I agree with you. I think they're shorting it because of valuation, probably. We have like what, like a 20 million, 20 billion market cap. This isn't right. But yeah, so based on valuation, yeah, it's like a little overvalued. And that's why I say I'm playing it as a short squeeze, and then I'm gonna reevaluate. But yeah, like just like Lucid's getting shorted because it's overvalued, they're trying to do the same thing with Polestar. But I think as Polestar gets more social media exposure, more market exposure, more, more press releases and things, like there'll definitely be more eyes on it. There'll be more hype on it. People will start realizing, like, people, especially those that missed out on Tesla, people are going to want to get the next Tesla. And Polestar's not just any like electric vehicle that's promising things, they're actually out there delivering vehicles. So we talked about deliveries earlier and stuff. So I think there's definitely, some safety nets there. Like, oh yeah, even if the squeeze doesn't play off, I think I'm investing in a decent company. I'm gonna read this comment from Nick. Oh yeah, I own 11K shares of Polestar. You can play the squeeze or hold. Exactly, yes sir. The company proven they could weather the Q2 storm with their outlook today. Exactly. Now, you did talk about storm for Q2. I think Q3 is definitely going to be interesting too. Q3 and Q4. I don't know. I feel like something's going on with the economy, you know. So we'll kind of get an idea of what's going on with that. But you think the worst is behind for 2022, Zane, or you think Q3, Q4 will be some challenges? Obviously, Thomas
I
sounded
think,
pretty confident on his statements there, but I'd like to get your
yeah,
input there.
I think there's definitely going to be challenges for the next half of the year, especially for the overall stock market. I've
Hmm.
seen some good resistance, but to be honest, I still feel as if we're not out of the deep end yet. We're not out of the waters yet. So I
Right.
still think we're gonna hit a few more problems along the way before we can get ready for the next, the next bull run properly, you know?
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't talk about a bull run. Me personally, I don't see a bull run. I think it's like bear rallies and stuff. But again, that the market's not Polestar's not going to follow the market to an extent. It will follow it, but just a little bit. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I'd be very interested to see how demand goes because the economy's slowing down. Chips and stuff are definitely going to come down. I think in price. Is that right, or would they go up? I think with demand going down for Polestar or just vehicles or materials or like more luxury things, you know, it's going to be harder to get those numbers, but at the same time, some of the costs might come down. I don't know how that will work with in line with inflation though, because that's the goal, right? To get the inflation down, so things will start costing less.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's up, Trippy? Hey, that's the homie Trippy. Let me wrap up the chart real quick. You guys got anything to say here? I think we're good. This is the 1 hour chart, and the main thing I want to show you guys. Actually, I should start.
I think oil can go negative.
You think it can go? You crazy boy. Let me wrap up this real quick, Trippy, and then I'm gonna let you cut in here. I was just gonna say, potentially we could, start flipping green, bullish on this MACD, start filling those little bars to the, bullish side. That's on the daily, right? And then I'm gonna go back to the 1 hour. Let me cut this out real quick. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was gonna show up. On the 1 hour, we're above the 200 moving average, which is really the only one that I follow. We're above it and we held above it, so that's good. I think just in general, $10 is a nice consolidation support. So I think we can bounce off of that, continue the uptrend here, right? So overall, everything's looking good. Borrow fee rate's still strong. I don't think people are selling. I think if you have shares, I think you're chilling until the squeeze happens. If the squeeze happens, let me correct myself because I don't know if it'll happen. But once we can, really break above what 1080, that's the range where we kind of been fighting 1060. Then we can start talking about 11 and stuff. But one thing I want to just ask is, what do you guys think about 1250 for this week? I know there's a lot of options and stuff. I'm not gonna look into it, because obviously we don't have that much time left. But do you think we could get to 1250 this week or not?
Not before the end of this week, in my opinion. My price
Oof.
target for this week was
Mhm.
mostly around 1030 to 1050, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Um, 1250, I think we're still a long way out to even
Dang.
stabilize above $12, to
Yeah.
be
You're
honest.
breaking a lot of people's hearts right now, man.
I know, but it only makes me happier when the share price go down because I like everything on a discount. So I'm
Yeah.
just I'm never bothered, to be honest.
Yeah, I think as a long term, I think it's a good company. But for me personally, I'm a little pressured under time, so I definitely do want to see 1250 this week. And I'm just gonna,
Okay, okay.
but no, I understand. I see where you're coming from. You're a long term investor. I don't
I'm
know
a
if you actually,
long-term investor, yeah.
yeah. I think some of the
I'll
people.
be honest though.
Hmm.
Yeah, with Tesla shares, I do invest short term because I can just make great volumes on Tesla shares.
Right.
I do invest short term because it's just much easier for me to base my investments, but in Polestar, because of the short positions, it's just more unpredictable, I'd say, in a short term investment.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just shooting for 1250 because there's a lot of weight on our shoulders right now. I don't know if you guys know, I'm partnered up with the Unusual Wells. I have the link down there. You guys check it out. You guys, options, everything, anything. Definitely use Unusual Wells. If you guys want to save, you can use my referral link. It's down below. But what I was saying is there's a lot of pressure on us to try to get to 1250 because of the open interest here. We have about 18,000 contracts at the $12.50 for this week. And so that's why if we can get this, I mean, it would go insane because they would have to start hedging for all these contracts. And obviously leaning towards more bullish. But I think even holding those $10 level, I think that would be key. And, I just feel bad because there's a lot of people, trying to get the 1250. So I'm not going to count them out just yet. But, obviously I think the $10 is going to be important. For me personally, I got the 819 1250s. Don't worry, I'm down as well. So, but I just got a little bit more time. And the IV really just killed me. But I wanted to move back over to the flow just to get an idea of the breakdown. So the stock really didn't move much. It was like 1.5%. There's a lot of call premium today. Most of the volume for general was 81%, and obviously way more bullish. About $1.33 million and premium went into it today. It looks like about 100K, 50K here and there. They're looking for the $5 calls, which I guess doesn't really makes much sense. Do you know why people would get calls that are way in the money, Zane?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't
Nah, you
following
good? You
that.
good?
You were
No,
saying?
no. I was just saying people are buying these $5 calls. I don't know if you follow options much, but I was just trying to get your opinion on why they're buying like way in the money calls.
Oh,
Maybe they're
okay,
less
okay.
volatile or something.
I see what you mean. I think they're just going with the feeling of the market, especially with the news today, because a lot of people are feeling optimistic on Polestar shares. A lot of people have been feeling optimistic for a while now. They've been feeling that $10 is really an understatement for
Mm,
Polestar,
yeah.
so I can see why they would be having a lot of puts above $10, to be honest. It's just part of what the market is feeling like, to be honest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What I want to add here is, these $10 calls for this week, I think are going to be important. The 1250s I said are, a little out there. I hate to say it, but I mean, it'd be awesome to get them. But I definitely think the 16K, what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow is we had a pretty good amount of volume today. I'm going to be curious to see if this open interest increases, like if about 4 or 5,000 gets added to the open interest. That would be pretty bullish. If there's a lot of the volume from today, is closing out these positions, and this comes down to about 12K, then I might be a little more concerned. But another thing that's really interesting is these $14 calls. I mean, I don't even have $14 in the picture. I'm really just trying to get to 1250. So it looks like some people might be positioning themselves for a $14 move. But again, I'm gonna watch this volume, see how much of that carries over to the open interest going into tomorrow. So this is the most active chains for today. Other than that, I think everything, the main ones are definitely going to be the 1250s for this week, and I guess even $10. This is the first I've seen these, but these are actually leaps, so I'm not really sure. Yeah, definitely these two up here are important. The 10 for this week, the 14s are actually interesting, and then the 12s as well. So if you guys are interested in doing, I mean, you can just spend hours in here looking at different flows and things. Definitely use the link down there. You'll save 5% each month. So it's just a good little discount you can save. I'm going to quickly look at the bullish premium and the bearish premium, see how that's looking. It actually looks much better. So bullish premium near the highs here, but this is on a daily time frame. So, this is 12, 13. It looks like bullish premium is coming in. The only other thing that I would say is open interest. See how open interest. So it looks like we're at the highest open interest, really. Since, I mean, it's kind of stayed consistent, but there's a lot of open interest in just the contracts in general. And so I guess the only thing that I want to add to that is you can see bullish premiums coming in again. So hopefully we can see a move. But yeah, I think it looks good on that. And then the last thing is the put to call ratio. I mean, there's hardly any puts. 58% bullish, 61% bullish. 23,000 contracts traded today in call volume, so that's a pretty good amount. 81% of that is call volume. So yes, sir. I think we're chilling. We're chilling. Again, don't get your hopes up on the 12s for this week. I would definitely be looking at like for the August 19s. Those are the ones that I'm in. I would definitely be looking at contracts if you're interested in doing contracts. I think IV has came down a lot. So let me just make sure I get you guys those numbers for IV. And honestly, like I tell you guys, I got screwed. I bought the options as soon as we did the merger switch. So I was paying hefty price for these options. Like the IV was like 118, 130 something. Right now it's at a discount, man. It's like at 50 something. Like you guys are getting a good deal on some contracts. So I'm not financial advice, but I would definitely take a look at some contracts. Shares, you chilling. I don't know. You know, you can just buy and hold. That's the short squeeze and stuff. But I'm not sure how much more time you got, Zane. You have any wrap-up comments? Anything you want to add to them? Bring it to them. What are you thinking, man?
Nothing much, to be honest. I was seeing some puts on the other side just a few minutes ago of like $14, $15. And I was just thinking to myself that the only way we can possibly get higher than $15 this year is if there is a reoccurrence in the market similar to what happened last year in November, where the market was just, especially the EV market, EV shares, electric charging companies, they were just doing tremendously. I think if something like that happens again, then we could be looking at above $15 for Polestar for sure.
But not this week, right? You're talking about longer term.
Yeah, definitely longer term, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're looking at the ones for this week and I guess August, so within a month and stuff. But you were saying there was $14 call or puts. Do you know the timeline for the chain that was in?
No, I don't know, to be honest. But it was just a couple of them that you were hovering above that I was seeing a moment ago.
It might be the leaps. Let me make sure. I think it's the leaps that I saw. See if I got a few 14s in here. I think is it these right here? The September ones? No, these are calls. You said puts, right?
Yeah.
It might be this $10 put. Is it this $10 put with 14K? This is for next year.
Not too sure. I was seeing, hold on a minute. I was seeing some that were saying like $14 and above. I even seen one that was saying like $17. But it got me thinking just around the $15 mark. But I didn't realize that these are for like this week, which is quite really optimistic, to be honest. So
yeah.
that's
So
gonna
hopefully
be
we'll see how we'll see how it goes for the remainder of this week. Honestly, I think tomorrow is going to be the make it or break it. If some of this volume doesn't carry over, then I wouldn't be too optimistic for the 1250s. If some of this volume comes down, or this open interest comes down, but yeah, we'll kind of wait. We'll wait and see tomorrow. I think tomorrow's pretty much a big day. It's gonna be a make it or break it. I think that's gonna about wrap it up. You want to say anything else, Zane? Just in general, you give your social media and stuff if you're interested.
Yeah,
I think,
just that I appreciate being on the channel, bro. I really appreciate it.
sir. Nah, I'm just trying to help other people grow and stuff. I'm not saying we don't have a big following here, but no, yeah, I'm trying to help other people get some exposure, and I think we can definitely do this again. If people want to see you, we can go on your channel. We can link up for sure. You're in the Discord now. By the way, if you guys want to join the Discord, I've been trying to push that. I know you guys hear this every stream, but there's a link down below if you want to join the Discord. It's free. Trying to do Polestar stuff and trying to do options and just get some trading in general. But yeah, if you're interested in just if you need a place, if you need a home, it's right there for you. All right. Anything else, Zane? Like I said, definitely follow us on Twitter. I think you guys seen my Twitter. Let me plug that in real quick. Hey, look, I got some clout finally today. Let me plug that in. Yeah, check me out on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle? You can definitely we'll put Zane stuff in the comment or something. And yeah, check out his channel because hopefully he can get me on his channel. We can do a little collab there. But
yeah,
I think that's about it. For sure. If you guys can just help us, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts. What you thought of the collab, or what we need to change up, what you guys want to see. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty open to things. And yeah, I think it was a pretty fire collab. Am I right? So
Yeah, it was definitely a good start.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, pretty chill. And I think that's gonna wrap it up, y'all. I don't have nothing else. I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or next video. You guys know I'm gonna be around. And I appreciate everything you guys do for us. Just make sure to stay humble and never give up. Is that right? I'm not trying to end this in a motivational way, but you guys know the vibe. God's good, and we got a plan. We're just gonna keep pushing forward. So that's it. That's it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Check out the links down below. Check out Zane. Check out my channel. Check out my Twitter. Anything you guys need. If you guys need anything, just hit me up, and I'll see what I can do. So that's it. I'm gonna sign out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.